No, it's not difficult to get. Anyone that listens to Hard Facts should know. Today is the last day for the year, and I'm glad I'm part of it. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Great to hear from you. Dial, last hard fact for the year. That's from Justina. It means it's the last hard fact for the year 2022. This is the last package of hard facts for 2022. That's from McKay. It means it's the last rant for 2022. That's from Emmanuel. There was no rant today, actually. We have the Nigeria Info Roundtable. Let's talk 2022 with our colleagues in Lagos and Abuja. It means it's the last edition of hard facts for the year. It means the grand finale of Hard Facts of 2022, that's Jesse from Port Harcourt. It means the last year for the year 2022, it make out from Igruta. It means it's the last edition of Hard Facts for the year, that's from Doom Sam. So, well, once again, MLC Obi sent in the first correct response. Thank you very much for that. And that is correct, by the way. This is the last edition of Hard Facts for the year. So I have there's a matter we're going to discuss now till about 6 o'clock. The news comes about 60 major news. After that, I will get your thoughts. We'll have open season, and the open season will be on every thought, every discussion, every matter that's come up on Hard Facts throughout the year 2022. I'd like to get your take on that. Anything at all that you're thinking about the show itself, maybe even about me also. I'll take your thoughts after the 6 p.m. major news. During the open season segment all the way to 7 o'clock. So we'll have a very big, or a very large, if you will, open season segment today. It's going to be the last one for the year 2022. So let's move on with the next conversation in this hour, by the way. And have you heard, I don't know if it's good news, because I've read some reactions to it, and I'm getting... The feelers I'm getting is mixed feelings. You know, it appears gone are the days when Nigerians were excited by the prospect of an increase in minimum wage. You know, it was something that used to excite Nigerians. Everyone was excited about it. You know, there was a positivity in the air. You could almost touch it, if you will. But I don't know if it's still the same or not. Well, here's the story from the Punch. NLC gives Buhari conditions for new minimum wage. The NLC and the TUC have listed conditions for the proposed review of the national minimum wage, saying the continuous rise in inflation and the devaluation of the naira must be checked before the salary increase announced by the federal government could be considered. Organized Labour explained that the cost of virtually all consumables in Nigeria had been on the rise, stressing if this should continue, any amount of money that will be added to the minimum wage might not meet the expectations of workers. The NLC and TC spoke against the backdrop of the disclosure by Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige that the federal government would soon announce salary increments for civil servants and public officials due to the steady increase in prices of consumer goods. Punch reports Nigeria's headline inflation has continued to rise this year, hitting a new high of 21.47% in November 2022 from 21.09% in October 2022, according to the Consumer Price Index report released by the National Bureau of Statistics this month. And it's observed this has been the highest rate in about 17 years. No wonder. I remember when I first came to Port Harcourt, if I go to a supermarket and I spend 10 to 15,000 naira, the entire car is going to be filled with groceries. The back seat is filled with groceries, and I still have some bags with me in front. But now, if you walk into a supermarket and you spend 10 to 15,000 naira, you're going to come out with two flimsy bags. And by the way, you have two bags, maybe because one of the bags contains some frozen items. Otherwise, it could be one flimsy bag. You know, it's incredible. Anyways, so I'm asking a question right now. Would an increase in national minimum wage now at this time, would it necessarily increase the living standards or living conditions of Nigerians? Are you excited about the prospect of that, by the way? Let's talk about this for a bit. Lines open, call 0700 923 0923. That's 0700 923 0923. We're live on facebook.com/Nigeria InfoPH. We're also live on Twitter at Nigeria InfoPH. Will an increase in national minimum wage at this time, right now, will it necessarily increase the living standards of Nigerians? Hello, Hard Fact, you're welcome. Please go ahead. Hello, Hard Fact, you're live on radio. Please go on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Speak louder, please, however. Go ahead. Somehow I thought that was going to happen. Once again, 0700 923 0923. Hello, Hard Fact, you're welcome. Please go on.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Or Nigerians in general.
How do I mean? Anyone who is earning a salary of 100,000 and 50,000 is salary upon will certainly assist and help that person. On one hand. But if the federal government go ahead to do that without the state civil servants, their salary being increased, that will be agitation, go to cause inflation, go to cause trouble. So I am praying that if the federal government do that as they promised by January.
But the federal government cannot compel the states. As a matter of fact, as we speak right now, there are some states that have not fully implemented a 30,000 naira minimum wage. And it has been widely reported. It's been said that it's been said by NLC in Rivers State that even the Rivers State government is not fully implementing that as well, as with other states also, by the way. But go on.
I agree with you. Just like the chairman of Labour in Rivers State made a comment as regards that either yesterday or the day before yesterday. And but wherever you work, that is where you get your benefit. So if the federal civil servant whom the federal authority want to consider by adding a little to their salary, I think it's a good one.
All right, how about you? What do you make of this? 0700 923 0923. Hello, you're welcome.
Hello, Mr. Dayo.
Hi, go ahead.
Okay, for me, I think if the federal government go ahead to increase the minimum wage, then it simply means that an average man can buy egg for like 200 naira for one egg. That's my own layman's straight interpretation.
And how did you arrive at that interpretation?
Okay, well, as it is now, it's not everybody that can afford to buy egg for 120 naira now, right? Even with, not even with, based on the money that they are being paid now, they cannot afford to buy egg or even milk for like 120, 150 now. But just imagine they increase it. Now you can see that they cannot afford to buy it. Now you can, let's backtrack, like let's say 6 years ago. The question
amount, you say that they will now be able to, they will now have to buy a piece of egg for 200 naira. So I'm asking how. You're not explaining that, and I'm pressed for time.
The how is that now they have the money.
Okay, apologize. I have to go for commercial break shortly. Yes, indeed. I actually thought it was time for that already. Oh, I still have about a minute to go. Sorry to that caller. But he wasn't getting to the point quickly enough. First, I thought he was going to explain how he knew that the price will go from 120 to 200 naira. And then how the average Nigerian will suddenly be able to afford to buy it for 200 naira. But he wasn't getting there quickly enough. But I don't have time for another call right now. But maybe a message. I can take a message. Someone says, not at all. Rather, things will even get worse because the
Nigeria Info. Right back after this.
Union Bank is 105. To celebrate, we're giving away another 55 million naira in our Save and Win Pali promo too. That's 105,000 naira for 50 people every month, 500,000 naira for 5 people every quarter, and 5 million naira for one lucky person at the end of the year. To stand a chance, simply save at least 10,000 naira into your Union Bank account every month. If you don't have an account, you can download the Union mobile app or visit the nearest branch to open one. Terms and conditions apply.
Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
It's Christmas again.
Bola Tinubu wish a Merry Christmas. Bola Tinubu wish a Merry Christmas. Bola Tinubu wish a Merry Christmas and a prosperous brand new year. Bola Tinubu wish a Merry Christmas. Bola Tinubu wish a Merry Christmas. Bola Tinubu wish a Merry Christmas and a prosperous brand new year.
With a renewed hope for a better and greater Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu wishes Nigerians a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Shey you dey whine me ni? Why you see rain for this heavy sun?
No be that kind rain o. This one na data rain with my MTN NG app o. Na 1 gig data for everybody wey download the app. You know me now. You go also get up to 2 gig free data when you recharge from 500 naira and above with your debit card on my MTN NG app.
Up to 2 gig data when I recharge with my debit card for my MTN NG app? This na real data rain o.
No be there e end o. You go also get 10% extra on top every airtime recharge when you recharge for my MTN NG app.
Wait first o, you mean say if I recharge for morning on my MTN NG app,
you get 10% extra airtime
for evening nko?
10% extra airtime on top your recharge.
Wait, wetin you call the app again?
My MTN NG app.
Correct, I dey download now. Hey, na true. Dem give me 1 gig one time. Oya, make I go recharge with my debit card. Make I follow collect 2 gig plus 10% extra recharge.
Terms and conditions apply. What are we doing today?
Growing up can be confusing, and everybody tells you what to do with your life, but nobody really knows what you're going through. They don't get why you tricked your friend or why you even stole from a notorious kingpin. They're just quick to judge. If only they knew what the true story is. I am Shaya, and I want to tell you my story.
Watch Far From Home on Netflix, 16th December. None is home.
It's a new dawn for Nigeria. Oh, better days are coming. Better days that gives us hope and strength.
It's a new dawn in Nigeria. The firmament portends a bright future as the people of Nigeria move to vote a man whom they have come to trust. That man is Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. Vote Bola Tinubu as president of Nigeria. Vote Kashim Shettima as vice president. Vote APC.
Bring the smiles back to all Nigerians.
We all have one friend that always hides everything from everyone else. Like my guy Sheon, that got 1 gig free data when he downloaded my MTN NG app.
other headlines. Police burst IPOB hideout. Alright, welcome back. Still back to Nigeria Info. Hearing good Harcourt. I'm Dio. Compliment to the season once again. We've got less than 48 hours before 2023, and don't mind if I sound I don't know, if I sound a bit distracted right now. So here's what I'm trying to do in the studio. I'm trying to get a countdown clock online to 2023. So let's see, countdown clock. See if I can get that on a web page or something. Yeah. Okay, I'll look into that later on. But definitely, what we got tomorrow? We got, I mean, less than 48 hours definitely before the year 2023. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. Wish you were happy in advance. But we get on with the conversation for the moment. Cut to the Punch newspaper. NLC gives Buhari conditions for new minimum wage. The NLC and TUC have listed conditions for the proposed review of the national minimum wage, saying the continuous rise in inflation and the devaluation of the naira must be checked before the salary increase announced by the federal government could be considered. Organized Labour explained the cost of virtually all consumables in Nigeria had been on the rise, stressing if this should continue, any amount of money that will be added to the minimum wage might not meet the expectations of workers. The NLC and TUC spoke against the backdrop of the disclosure by Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, that the federal government would soon announce salary increments for civil servants and public officials due to the steady increase in prices of consumer goods. Now, Punch reports Nigeria's headline inflation has continued to rise this year, hitting a new high of 21.47% in November 2022 from 21.09% in October 2022. According to the Consumer Price Index report released by the National Bureau of Statistics this month, and it's observed this has been the highest rate in about 17 years. Wow. So I'm asking you, if minimum wage were to be increased right now, national minimum wage that is, would it improve the living standards of Nigerians, of the average Nigerian? Lines open. Call 0700 923 093 0700 923 093. We're live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH, live on Twitter as well, at Nigeria Info PH. Let's get your take. Hello, Hard Factor, welcome.
Oh, are you?
Hi.
Hello? Hello, Dio, good evening.
Hello, go ahead.
Yeah. The question you are asking it is not going to help in any way. One, there is already inflation, and the very minimum wage they are talking of, it is not affecting the state. So many states, it's not affecting us positively. And now they want to increase the minimum wage again, while people are still some of the states, this is not even up to 18%. And once they increase it again, the marketers will see their price will go higher and higher. Meanwhile, the people that are working in the state won't be able to buy anything. So it is not going to happen, except they check the price in the market and other things before they can increase it.
So you would rather, as things are right now, okay. 0700 923 093. By the way, I was going to ask her if she would rather, considering the way things are at the moment, that minimum wage or national minimum wage is left where it is, untouched. Don't increase it. That's considering the way things are at the moment. Well, let's get your take as well. Once again, 0700 923 093. Hello, Hard Facts. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Dayo, good evening.
Yeah, go on.
Dayo, good evening.
Hello, go ahead.
Yes, NLC talks about minimum wage, and federal government also talks about increasing the salaries of the civil servants. But Dayo, why didn't this government talk about salary increase of civil servants when their tenure was remaining 5 years?
Hold on, just a moment. Just a moment, please. You need to listen for a bit. Once again, you have to listen. Just listen for a minute. You're not listening. I need to say something very important. Okay. Are you going to listen now?
Then finally.
Okay. No. So I was going to say that. As a matter of fact, this administration has already implemented one increase in national minimum wage. So I didn't get the point he was making. The question he asked once again is why this administration talk about increase of minimum wage, say, 5 years before now. But this administration has already, or before now, had already implemented one increase in the minimum wage, but he wasn't willing to listen. Hello, Hartford, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Hello. Good evening, Dayo.
Hi, go ahead, please.
I want to say that for the minimum wage of a thing, they should just leave it the way it is.
Why? More money is bad for Nigerians?
See, listen, if you like, you take it or you leave it. In life, the more you get rich, the more problems come. And now when they last increased the national minimum wage, you find out that all the people in the market sector, you knew what happened. Things begin to go high. Why? Because they believe that there is a lot of money in the hands of the civil servants to buy. So when you talk about increasing and you're adding maybe like 3,000 or 5,000, what is it going to do for us?
How do you know that the increase will be just 3,000 or 5,000?
Okay, take a look at it. How much was it before the last minimum wage? Even if it's 100,000.
Yeah, answer the question you asked. How much was it before the last increase?
Some states were paying 15,000. Some states were paying 20. And
no. No. What was the national minimum wage before the last increase?
When I came into this, I just was trying to follow up the.
Okay, the last national minimum wage, I believe, was 18,000 naira, and then it was increased to 30,000 naira. That was not 3,000 or 5,000 naira increase.
I'm talking about now. Even if they add 100,000 naira to the 30,000 naira now, it's only going to cause problem for the rest of Nigeria.
How will it cause problem for the rest of Nigerians?
You know what happened the last time? Once one person gets money, the other person wants to collect the money from the person that just got the money. That is Nigeria for you. Thank you, Dayo.
All right. 19 to go before 6 p.m. The major news is up at 6. Are we still streaming live? I suspect we are. I may have to confirm that though. Facebook.com/Nigeria Info page. Also Twitter @Nigeria Info page. Hello, hard fight to welcome. Please go on.
Hello.
All right, go ahead.
All right, Dr. Evaristo.
Go ahead.
Yes. I just want to react to the last person's talk. He's saying that if we increase the minimum wage, that it will affect things in the market. So my question to him is, what we are going through now, like the increment in the transportation fees, the increment in the things that are in the market, is it because the minimum wage has increased? It has not been increased. It is still the way it was, but we are going through series of things now. Many things have been increased in the market. So he should not be thinking that if we increase it, people that are in the market will hear that you have increased it, and therefore they will begin to increase their own. That's not the truth. It's not the truth at all.
So is an increase now? Will it be a good thing for Nigerians?
It will. It will alleviate some things, some suffering.
So, but how about NLC's position that before increasing it, government should address inflation?
Yes, it is important that they address inflation before increasing it. Let them do their work, address inflation, then increase it for the people. Because even if you are not addressing it, you are looking at things the way you are looking at things. Things are deteriorating, things are doing bad.
But I think what you're saying ultimately is, even if nothing is done immediately about the inflation, salary increment is still welcomed.
Yes, we can still welcome that, and whenever they are ready to do anything about the inflation, they can do.
Okay, how about you? Do you agree with him or not? 90.3, hello, you're welcome, go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Dayo, good evening. Hello?
Have you called in already on this conversation today?
You cut me off. I was talking about egg
No,
and the increment.
Okay, all right. Okay, so you were saying, go on.
Okay. More money simply means more spending, Mr. Dayo. I will take us back to maybe, if you like, maybe in the 90s. How much was the minimum wage compared with an average, the basic things in the market? Now, let's speed down to 2022. The previous caller was talking about increment. You said from 18,000 naira to 30,000 naira. Huh?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Okay. So, what was the cost of foodstuffs in the market when it was 18,000 naira compared to the cost?
You do realize that there are several factors that bring on inflation, and increase in wage is not necessarily one of the top factors that's responsible for inflation. You do understand that, don't you? I hope you understand that.
Yes, yes, I do. And,
okay.
If you want to look at that, in a country where government does not regulate the price in the market, I'm not sure, maybe I could be wrong, where government will say for a tin of milk, for instance, any tin of milk, and this is the price. Government does not have it. All these things are in the hands of the businessman out there who is struggling to survive, right? Now, this businessman, government tax each of them that is embedded inside this product. Now, that is where we are going to spend.
So the person who is selling a tin of milk for hypothetically 200 naira, just because he hears that new national minimum wage has been increased, the person will start selling it for 250 naira, and that starts from the manufacturer, not because cost of production has increased or any element of or factor in the production chain or value has increased. You're saying that manufacturers and by extension middlemen and retailers will just automatically increase price just because salaries have been increased. That's the point you're making.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that point has been established, even though I do think that point is extremely questionable, because I don't think that's how economics works. Economics doesn't work that way. Well, it's a long explanation. Hello, Hot Factor, welcome, go ahead.
Yes, brother. The question I asked.
Hello, please, please, if you've called in before, please do not call back in. All right, if you've called in before now, please. This is one of the days when I miss my call screener. If you've called in before, please do not call in again. It doesn't matter how important you think the opinion you want to express is. I'm sure there are others who have opinions they'd like to express as well. Yours is not the only important one. Hard Fight to welcome, please go ahead.
Dayo, good evening.
Hi, go ahead.
Fine. This is Frank from the Lille one.
Yeah, go on.
On the issue on minimum wage for salary adjustment for workers by next year, proposed by the federal government, I think it's a welcome development.
Why?
Because what workers take home now, I tell you, with the high cost of living, it's no longer, sufficient. So, in as much as it's also good that the federal government should also look at how to curb the inflation in the society. But for workers, it's also good that they should look at what they take home at the end of every home.
When you say workers, what category of workers are you referring to?
Sorry?
When you say workers, what category of workers are you referring to?
When I mean workers, I'm not referring to politicians.
No, that's not what I meant. You're referring to workers. I'm referring to workers as well. My question is, what category of workers are you referring to? Because the federal government, if this goes ahead, will very likely implement this for federal civil servants. There is no guarantee that state governments are going to implement it or implement it fully. Now, how about the private sector? Just a moment. Just hold on a second. When I'm done with the question, then you can respond. Now, how about the private sector as well? You also have that. And we don't have any enforcement of minimum wage as far as the private sector is concerned. What percentage of the workforce in the country are federal civil servants? And that's why I asked you the question. When you say workers, which category of workers are you referring to?
It's a matter of policy. The federal government has to be firm in the policy of looking into the welfare of workers generally, whether the federal or states or even in the public sector. The federal government needs to come.
I think you mean the private sector.
At implementation, yes, because there is a high cost of living. Things are expensive, Dayo. You must agree with me. Things are very expensive. Look at petroleum. A liter, buying a liter at 300 is crazy. So the federal government needs to look at it and be firm at the implementation. That's my take. Thank you.
All right. Hello, 913. Hard Fact to welcome, please go on.
Hello?
Hi, go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Thank you. I want to contribute to the discussion. Minimum wage is not the issue in Nigeria.
What's the issue?
The most important thing is price control. Anyway, the one who is speaking to you is Venerable Gideon Ianacho. I'm calling from Owerri. I always like your programs. They're very incisive.
Thank you for listening. Go ahead.
Price control should be most primary and not how much money you give to people. Remember, so many things come to, drive the market economy either up or down. For instance, look at this crisis of flooding. It has affected most productive areas, so that the quantity or volume of food brought into the market cannot be compared with what used to come before, even if you increase the minimum wage now. The tendency is for those who sell to capitalize on the fact that the workers have been keeping higher money salaries to increase the salaries. But how many persons buy usually from these products like milk? You gave instance. What advice I would give is that if your money cannot go for milk, please abandon milk and go for some other things. And go for
soya milk. But by the way, you talk about price control. Let's talk about price control. How will government effectively deploy price control? Noting that ours is a capitalist economy. In other words, the private sector or the manufacturer is free. Can you hear me? Just a moment, please.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Now, it's a free entry, free exit market that we practice in Nigeria. The manufacturer is free based on the cost of production to determine price eventually, which also is important as far as profitability is concerned. So when you say price control, how exactly should the government go about doing that?
If it's put in place, like for instance now, they can place maybe markets sort of where the commoner could go and buy things at such pricing. It will force down the prices to the shylops in the market for their goods. If government
how will government determine the price of those things or commodities in those markets you're referring to?
No, you see, the point is the market. They have Market Consumer Protection Council. This is a way they can at least reach.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Great to hear from you. I do have to go for commercial break shortly. Let's see if I have any before then. Now, crazy means it just is to the question. If your money cannot buy in Nigeria, you cut corners or you get additional source of income to buy the milk. Oh well. I'm actually not certain it actually works that way exactly. But commercial break coming up now. Major news 6 p.m. Open season afterwards. Do please stay with us.
For more talk, news and sports, stay